Oh, you thought family feuds in hip-hop were messy before. Think again. Because this time, the King of the South just lost his cool and Charleston White picked the wrong royal family to test. 1 minute. Charleston's running his mouth online like a discount shock jock philosopher. The next T.I. is ready to go full expeditious combat mode over his son, King Harris. What started as a few slick comments turned into an internet inferno live streams. Diss clips, threats, apologies, and more plot twists than a Tyler Perry finale. Fans are screaming, blogs are drooling. And even King himself jumped in with a response that made half the timeline clutch their pearls. This isn't rap beef. This is Atlanta royalty versus the mouth of chaos. And when Charleston White called out King Harris, he didn't just step on T.I.'s nerves. He stomped on a legacy. So grab your snacks, turn up the volume, and get ready. Because this story's got public humiliation, family pride, viral meltdowns, and the kind of energy that makes the Kardashians look like they're running a church. Choir, let's break down how a single rant sent T.I. from motivational speaker to furious father and why the internet can't stop watching it started. With one of those late-night rants that Charleston White lives for: a camera, a cigar, a Wi-Fi signal, and an ego big enough to fill the entire state of Texas. The man's been running his mouth for years, taking shots at rappers, their families, and their legacies. But this time he aimed straight at Atlanta royalty in a clip that went viral faster than a Drake leak. Charleston decided to go after King Harris, T.I.'s outspoken son. He called him a spoiled celebrity kid, accused him of acting street when he was born on reality TV, and finished with the one line that broke the internet. That little boy ain't no gangster. He a gold-plated toddler with his daddy's money. Boom! That sentence hit harder than a diss track. Within minutes, every blog, gossip page, and reaction channel had grabbed it. The Shade Room posted the clip with the caption, "Charleston White calls out King Harris, AGAIN. Thoughts?" Translation: "We're about to let the internet burn." And burn it did. Twitter lit up with memes of T.I. looking furious. TikTok stitched the rant into skits, and YouTubers raced to post their hot takes. Charleston White, grinning behind those thick glasses, knew exactly what he'd done. He had just poked a man who calls himself the King of the South at first. T.I. tried to play it cool. He'd dealt with controversy before, feuds, headlines, lawsuits, you name it. Usually he hits back with class, a few big words, and an expeditiously for punctuation. But this wasn't about rap, business, or reputation. This was about family when the comments got nastier. And when fans started tagging T.I. under every post saying, "Are you gonna let him talk about your son like that?" That's when tips snapped. He went live from his car because, of course, all legendary internet moments start with a celebrity in a luxury vehicle. No script, no manager, just raw emotion. "I don't play about my kids," he said, voice tight with fury. "Say what you want about me, but keep my son's name out your mouth before it get expeditious." The word expeditious alone sent the timeline into a frenzy. It became the new meme of the week. Fans were captioning videos with, "I'm about to handle this expeditiously" every time they got mad at their boss, their ex, or their WI-V. But behind the jokes, people could feel the anger. This wasn't the T.I. who gives motivational speeches on podcasts. This was Clifford Harris, the father who's tired of seeing his kid dragged for clicks. Charleston White, of course, saw the video, and instead of backing down, he doubled down on his next live stream. He laughed and said, "T.I. mad cause his boy acting like he from the trap when he grew up with Tiny singing lullabies. I'll call the police and tell them both to chill." The internet couldn't decide if this was comedy or chaos. Charleston was trolling so hard that even people who hated him couldn't stop watching. He cracked jokes about pepper spray, claimed he wasn't scared of T.I., and ended the rant with, "Y'all rappers ain't scary, y'all just got Wi-Fi and fans." The internet melted down, memes popped up overnight. One showed T.I. in royal robes with the caption, "The King about to go medieval." Another had Charleston White photoshopped holding pepper spray like a superpower. Fans started taking sides. Team T.I., defending fatherhood and family pride. Team Charleston saying he's just speaking the truth. Podcasts jumped in, calling it the battle of the generations. Commentators framed it as a bigger debate, real street credibility. These social media clout dot, and right in the middle of it all was poor King Harris. Scrolling through chaos he didn't even start. Within a day he finally responded, short, calm, and just the right amount of attitude. I don't do all that internet talking. You say my name, say it in person. That one sentence turned him from spoiled kid to young man defending his name. Fans started flooding his comments with fire emojis, calling him his daddy's twin. Meanwhile, T.I. was still fuming. Insider said he spent the night calling his team, telling them, if this dude says one more word, I'm pulling up. And that's when the story grew legs. Someone claimed to have seen Charleston White in Atlanta. Another claimed T.I. was already looking for him. Neither was true, but the rumor alone kept the drama trending for 3 days straight. Even mainstream media picked it up. TMZ dropped an article titled T.I. warns Charleston White, "Don't talk about my son." News outlets replayed the clips like it was breaking political coverage. By then, both men were viral gold. Charleston fed off the energy. He called himself the internet's uncle who spanks rappers. T. On the other hand, was visibly exhausted, not because he couldn't handle beef, but because the circus was dragging his family into a meme factory. And that's what made this moment explosive. This wasn't just another rapper feud. This was a generational collision. A man who built his career on respect versus a man who built his on disrespect. Charleston's power came from chaos. T.I.'s power came from composure. But when Charleston insulted King Harris, he didn't just cross a line, he erased it. Fans began to see the cracks in both sides. Some said I needed to chill and stop giving clout to trolls. Others said Charleston had finally picked a fight that could end his online reign. The internet became a digital courtroom. Comment sections turned into essays. Every YouTube channel uploaded breakdowns titled "The Real Reason T.I. Snapped" or "Charleston White's Downfall Begins." Within 48 hours, everyone was watching. And the scary part, the feud hadn't even peaked yet, because Charleston wasn't done talking and T.I. wasn't done warning. The next 72 hours would take this petty internet spat and turn it into a full-scale media brawl that had Atlanta shaking. The only question left was, who was going to blink first? By sunrise, the feud wasn't just trending, it had gone global. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok turned into a full-blown battleground where every meme maker, gossip, blogger, and washed-up rapper with Wi-Fi had an opinion. Charleston White had thrown the match. But the internet poured the gasoline. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. Charleston White is beefing with T.I., his son, and Logic all at once. People weren't just laughing. They were obsessed. Reaction channels were doing hour-long breakdowns like it was an episode of Game of Thrones. Every thumbnail had Charleston's face photoshopped next to T.I. with a flaming beef alert banner. Charleston wasn't backing down either. He thrived on outrage. The more people dragged him, the more he posted. It was pure performance art wrapped in chaos. In his next live stream, he doubled down with a grin that could curdle milk. T.I. mad cause his son wanna be a thug when he's supposed to be in college. You raised a rapper, not a gangster. Blame yourself. That clip hit harder than any diss track. Within minutes, it had 2 million views, and fans were tagging T.I. again like it was jury duty. Then came the remix era. TikTok DJs took Charleston's "You Raised a Rapper, Not a Gangster" line and flipped it into beats. Instagram comedians made skits of King Harris being expeditiously grounded. Even sports pages jumped in, posting memes like T.I. defending King Harris harder than NBA defenses this season. And if that wasn't enough, Charleston added fuel by mocking T.I.'s famous vocabulary. Boy using words like expeditiously while his son out here moving recklessly. That one sentence broke the algorithm. Hashtag expeditiously reckless started trending in 3 countries. Meanwhile, T.I. went liveagain.com, but clearly boiling under the surface. Ain't nobody gone play with mine. I'm from Atlanta, not the comments section. The tone wasn't rapper energy, it was dad energy. The kind that says, I will pull up and embarrass you like PTA night. You could feel the difference. This wasn't for clout. This was about principle. Charleston White saw that and, naturally, made it worse. He taunted T.I. again. You threaten me, I'll call the cops. You raise a criminal, I raise awareness. That's when the internet split in half. One side was cheering Charleston on like he was a roast comic. The other was done with him completely, calling him the clown of the South. Even celebrities started chiming in. Boosie Badass tweeted, "Don't ever speak on a man's child. That's crossing the line." 50 Cent, because he lives for this, posted a meme of Charleston in a bulletproof church robe with the caption, "Pastor White needs prayers, not problems." Snoop Dogg commented under it, "Expeditiously baptized." The memes were pure gold, but underneath all the laughter, something serious was happening. The Harris family brand, which T.I. and Tiny had spent decades polishing, was back in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. PR insiders whispered that T.I. was furious behind closed doors. He wasn't just mad at Charleston. He was mad that the internet made his son the butt of every joke. King Harris didn't help calm things down either. He posted a video saying, "Keep my name out your mouth or we can talk in person." Simple, direct, dangerous. It sent the internet into cardiac arrest. Charleston responded instantly. "Boy, you're not even legal yet? I'll mace you, then sue your daddy." That single quote might go down as one of the most chaotic sentences ever spoken online. Within hours, "I'll mace you" became the newest meme. People edited Charleston holding pepper spray like the Infinity Gauntlet. Someone even made a mock movie poster titled expeditiously, "The Mace Wars." The situation had gone from serious to circus. But while Charleston laughed his way through live streams, T.I. started shifting tone. He posted a message on Instagram. The internet turned real men into cartoons. But remember, life ain't Wi-Fi. You can get disconnected quick. It was cryptic, poetic, and threatening all at once. Classic tip. Fans flooded the comments with applause, emojis, and quotes, like "Father of the Year energy." Charleston, of course, couldn't resist another jab. "You sound like Morgan Freeman narrating disappointment." The internet collectively screamed, "Oh no, he didn't." At this point, the story had gone so viral that even non-hip-hop audiences were tuning in. Morning talk shows mentioned it. YouTubers who normally cover politics were suddenly decoding Atlanta street drama. And just when you thought it couldn't, get wilder, a fake video started circulating of Charleston White allegedly apologizing to T.I. It was complete with voice clone and blinking animation. It fooled half the internet for 6 hours. When Charleston found out, he went live again. "Whoever made that fake apology, thank you. I ain't saying sorry, I said what I said." The man was unstoppable. But here's the irony for all his talking. Charleston was starting to lose control of the narrative. What began as a publicity stunt to stir controversy had turned into a full-scale PR nightmare. Major platforms started limiting his lives for harassment. YouTube demonetized one of his videos. Sponsors backed off. Meanwhile, T.I. was playing chess, not checkers. He stopped responding directly. Instead, he let King Harris handle the front lines while he posted pictures of his family. Success quotes. And studio sessions, the silence made Charleston's rants look desperate. Like a man yelling at clouds while the world moved on. But make no mistake, T.I. was still plotting behind the scenes. Sources close to the Harris camp said he was considering legal action if Charleston mentioned King again. Another insider said, "Tip's not mad about words. He's mad about disrespect." And that's the key. In hip-hop culture, you can diss a man's music, his past, even his fashion. But once you mention his family, it's open war. The energy around the situation shifted. Fans went from laughing to saying, "This gone and bad if somebody don't chill." Charleston's antics had stopped being entertaining. They were starting to feel reckless. Every new video he posted had less humor, more hostility, and every time he said King Harris, he reminded the world that T.I. wasn't playing games. That's when something unexpected happened. Charleston White blinked in a rare moment of self-awareness. He uploaded a video saying, "Look, I ain't trying to beef with nobody's son. I just want these young men to stop thinking gangster life is cool." Was it sincere? Probably not. But the internet took it as a white flag. T.I. never responded. He didn't have to. His silence was louder than any diss. But the internet, it smelled blood, and it wasn't done feeding. Because if you thought this feud was over, you clearly don't understand how virality works in this digital age. A pause isn't peace, it's a plot twist waiting to drop. Part 03, The Aftermath, and the Empire reasserts. Approximately equals 1,200 words for a few days. It felt like the smoke was finally clearing. Charleston White went quiet, a rare event in itself. No rants, no fake apologies, no live streams full of half logic and full volume. The internet actually thought it had witnessed the impossible. Charleston White finally silenced. But in the digital jungle, silence doesn't mean peace, it means plotting. Because just as T.I. started posting family-first quotes and promoting his projects again, Charleston crawled right back onto the timeline with what he called the real truth. In his newest video, he smirked at the camera like a man who hadn't learned a thing. "Y'all keep talking about I disrespected that boy King Harris. Nah, I educated him. I'm the new school principal of the internet." Fans groaned. Bloggers rubbed their hands together. T.I. rolled his eyes so hard. You could hear it through the WI-feed. This time, though, the response wasn't rage, it was reputation warfare. T.I. had realized something most people never do. You can't outshout a troll, but you can outlast one. So instead of firing back, he made his next move strategic. He started dropping snippets of new music, songs laced with subtle surgical bars. Like, they want reactions. I'm busy building my fractions. Clowns chase clicks, while kings chase traction. Fans lost it. He dissed Charleston in algebra. One tweet joked. Another said, "This the calmest roast in hip-hop history." And just like that, T.I. flipped the script. The internet went from laughing at his anger to praising his restraint. Every hip-hop blog started calling him the mature king. Commentators on podcasts like The Breakfast Club said, "This is how you handle disrespect in the social media era. Quiet power." Charleston tried to reheat the beef, but the pot was cold. He went live again, ranting about these industry daddies defending spoiled kids. But this time, the engagement numbers dipped. Fans weren't laughing anymore. They were tired. His jokes started sounding bitter. The man who'd been a one-man circus suddenly looked like the clown who stayed too long after the tent closed. Meanwhile, King Harris was thriving. His freestyle legacy over clout, the one that dropped mid-beef, hit 1 million streams. He posted behind-the-scenes clips of him in the studio with a caption that said, "I'm my father's son. Watch me earn it." The comments were pure redemption energy. You turned hate into hustle. King really learned the T.I. playbook. This beef made him a man. Even T.I. commented, with a fire emoji and proud. And that's when it clicked for everyone watching. This wasn't a feud anymore. It was a transformation story. T.I. went from angry dad on live to protector of legacy. King went from spoiled rapper kid to rising artist with purpose. And Charleston White, well, he went from viral to very forgettable. That's the internet's cruelest law. Today's headline is tomorrow's punchline. But just when you thought it was all settled, another twist hit the timeline because chaos never truly ends in hip-hop. A few weeks later, footage surfaced of Charleston White being approached by fans outside a comedy show. One of them mentioned T.I. and Charleston in classic Charleston fashion. Couldn't resist. Man, T.I. cool. I just had to show him who the real king is. He laughed, walked off. And that single line reignited everything. Blogs clipped it instantly. Charleston White claims he's the real king. T.I. responds. The comments were ruthless. Bro, nobody crowned you. This feud got arthritis. Stop trying to revive it. Even King Harris posted a laughing emoji under one of the clips with a caption that said, "Still talking about me?" Rent-free. The internet crowned it the ultimate full circle moment. Because here's the thing. Charleston had built his entire brand on trying to pull rappers into his world of chaos. But T.I. did something far more powerful. He pulled the narrative back into his control. He used the feud not as fuel for rage, but as proof of growth. He took what could have been another messy hip-hop headline and turned it into a lesson on fatherhood, legacy, and handling disrespect with precision. By the time the dust settled, T.I. wasn't just trending, he was respected again. And King Harris, his name was now connected to music, not memes. Charleston White, on the other hand, faded back into the endless noise of the internet, another loud man with a dying audience. One commentator summed it up best. T.I. didn't just defend his son. He defended fatherhood in hip-hop. And honestly, that's what made this feud iconic. It wasn't about who was right or wrong. It was about the collision between old-school respect and new-age nonsense. Between a man who built a legacy and a man who lives for attention. Charleston got what he wanted: views, clicks, and chaos. But T.I. got what mattered: dignity, control, and his fans back on his side. And that's the real moral of this whole saga. The internet rewards outrage, but it remembers composure. So while Charleston was out here chasing viral moments, T.I. reminded everyone that sometimes the loudest man in the room isn't powerful. He's just insecure with good. WI-V. Now, was this the end of the story? Maybe not. Because in hip-hop, every silence is temporary. And if Charleston wakes up one morning craving chaos again, we all know whose name he'll say first. But if he does, one thing's certain: T.I. won't be logging on this time. He'll be too busy reminding the world quietly, confidently, and expeditiously that kings don't argue with clowns. They own the circus. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you end a digital Royal Rumble. Not with fists, not with lives, but with legendary composure. T.I. didn't just go off. He went strategic. He turned Charleston White's circus into his classroom and walked away with a moral high ground and a million new respect points. This wasn't just beef. This was a masterclass in legacy management. While Charleston was busy screaming into his phone, T.I. was out here reminding the world that real kings don't argue. They educate. But make no mistake, this story is far from over. Because if we've learned one thing from this saga, it's that Charleston White can't survive without chaos. And T.I.'s family name is the Wi-Fi signal that keeps his career online. So go ahead, drop your thoughts in the comments. Was T.I. right to defend his son publicly? Or should he have ignored Charleston and let karma handle it expeditiously? And while you're at it, smash that like button, like Charleston smashed his own credibility. Hit that subscribe button before T.I. drops another surprise freestyle. And turn on those notifications because you already know. This isn't the last viral feud we're covering. On this channel, the tea doesn't spill, it erupts. From rap beefs to courtroom chaos. From leaked receipts to celebrity meltdowns, we serve it raw, fast, and louder than Charleston's next apology tour. This is Expose Express, where secrets don't stay secret. Drama never clocks out and will always keep it 100. One headline at a time, so stay tuned, stay messy, and stay subscribed because tomorrow's scandal is already trending expeditiously.